You are frying your brain. You now have the same attention span as a goldfish, and your brain needs to be constantly stimulated, otherwise you get bored. You need to consume content at any given opportunity, and your brain has gotten used to it. Not only is this affecting your health as you spend more and more time glued to the screen, but it is also affecting your focus and your productivity. However, the good news is it is not too late to turn this around. Now, more than ever, it is so important for you to be sharp and focused. Look, I know that when it comes to my channel, I am directly talking to Gen Z. And let me tell you guys something. Times are changing. With so many new advancements in AI, it is still very uncertain how that's going to affect you and your career. So in order to increase your odds of staying relevant in these uncertain times, we need to work hard on becoming the very best version of ourselves. But how can we do that if we can't stay away from our phones for 5 minutes? Most people today have multiple screens on their desk, myself included. They have their phone, their watch, their iPad, and of course their computer, which oftentimes will also have multiple screens. How can anyone be focused like that? The answer is they can't. You sit at your desk ready to go and conquer the world, but you just can't get to it. You're just so distracted. It is impossible to focus on the task at hand when your work environment is littered with all of these devices that are going to rob you of your focus at any given point. And even if you say, well, you know, I have a lot of self-control and I don't watch any content on these devices when I'm working. Just by having so many access points to you, you are already affecting your productivity in a very negative way. By having so many of these access points to you, anybody can get a hold of you. You're just one text or one call away. Today, I want to tell you about how we're going to rewire your brain and reset your dopamine and reward systems back to baseline levels in order to detox your brain from distractions and instant gratification. All of that in 7 days. Now, I know that most people are probably watching this video as they're eating their lunch or doing their homework, and after watching this, they probably won't do anything. So now I am speaking directly to those who are willing to take action and actually make a change in their lives. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first rule is no YouTube. None. Most people nowadays are what I like to call self-help junkies. They like to consume all this content about how to be more productive, how to make more money, how to reach their goals. Meanwhile, their own goals are on pause because they're not ready yet or they're gonna start next month. The worst part is this is not uncommon at all. It has become one of the worst obstacles when it comes to people actually working towards reaching their goals. When we talk about doing something and reaching our goals, our brains behave in a very similar fashion to actually achieve them. Just by talking about it. We feel this false sense of accomplishment, but in reality, we haven't done anything aside from talking about it. The exact same is true for watching YouTube videos. As we watch these videos about how to be more productive, how to work hard, how to have a good routine, we have this false sense of productivity. Just by watching these videos, our brain creates this false sense of accomplishment that keeps you from actually getting started on the things that you should be doing to work towards your goals. With all that said, for the next 7 days, YouTube is not allowed. And that also applies to my videos. I don't care if you think it's productive, it is not. Just as in books, a big portion of a lot of YouTube videos out there are just filled with crap that are there to make the video longer. Most books only contain about 15 to 30 pages of actual gold, while the rest is all filler material. And the same is true for videos. YouTube videos of 10 minutes or more in length are eligible for multiple ads to be played on the video. This incentivizes content creators to artificially prolong their videos in order to increase the income that they can generate from every single video. You need to start treating YouTube, podcasts, and even most books as a form of entertainment. For that reason, during our 7-day reset, we will not be consuming any YouTube content. Rule number 2 is, I don't really know how I'm gonna say this, but no adult films. Now, I know that some of you guys are so addicted that you can't go a day without self-pleasure. So in order to keep things realistic so that everyone can follow, we will limit this to imagery only. The fact that we even have to impose this limitation just baffles me. If you're a man and you're watching porn every day, you are addicted. And you need to cut it out. Watching porn is destroying you. It is destroying your relationship with love and intimacy. It's destroying your self-control, and it's quite literally rotting your brain. You don't believe me? Just look at the science. There have been studies that found a link between porn consumption and the erosion of your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that controls your actions, your thoughts, and your willpower. Yeah, that part. Porn has similar effects on the brain as substance abuse. And we would be here all day if I had to list out all of the different negative effects that porn has in your life. For the next 7 days, you can still do your thing if you really need to. Obviously, we would like to cut that down as much as possible, but I know that some of you physically just can't, so we will set the bar at the imagery only. This also includes those Instagram baddies that you follow, which, side note here, why do guys follow these girls? I really don't get it. Unless you know these people and they're providing some sort of value to your life, why would you just follow somebody because they're hot, because they look good? You're basically asking them to distract you and let your primitive brain take over whenever you come across their post. Not to mention, you're also putting this person on a pedestal when in reality, she's just a regular person like you and I. She has no idea of your existence. I have a problem with putting things on a pedestal to begin with, not only with girls, but with cars, watches, and houses. When you put something on a pedestal like that, you're creating such a big separation between you and that thing that in your head it almost becomes impossible for you to ever achieve that. Not to mention that I imagine that girls probably hate when they meet a new guy and his Instagram homepage is just littered with girls showing off their bodies and posting thirst traps. So do yourself a favor, unfollow these people, cut it out, and for the next 7 days, no pornography, no soft porn, no Instagram baddies, nothing. Rule number 3 is gonna be 2 hours of screen time only. That's it. Being on your phone will always be a distraction, okay? No matter how you try to justify it, the truth is, if you're on your phone, you're being distracted. I already know some of you are gonna say, well, Lucas, I need my phone for work. So in reality, I can't really think of anything that you can do on your phone that you can't do on your laptop. When I'm studying for an exam or preparing for a client meeting or even writing a script for YouTube, I am notorious for putting my phone on airplane mode until I'm done with that task. When you're on your phone, it is so easy to jump around from doing work to checking your messages, maybe going on Instagram, ordering something on Amazon super quick, and texting back your girlfriend. It just sucks you in and keeps you from working on something consistently for a long period of time. Another reason why I like to keep my phone on airplane mode is because of notifications. I have some friends that have their notifications off altogether, but I personally do enjoy getting notifications when the time is right. So for that reason, I just choose to put my phone on airplane mode whenever I need to just sit down and grind and focus and I don't want to be distracted. You can do whatever you want. I like the airplane mode just because it gives me more control. But if you're okay with not having any notifications, I would say that's a good tactic as well. Now, I'm sure they must have something similar to this on Android, but if you have an iPhone, you can actually get this widget that will show you how much screen time you had thus far. Go ahead and add that to your home screen so that way you know and you can better plan out how much you're using your phone, what you're using it for. Now guys, also keep in mind this 2-hour rule is only going to be for the 7-day detox period, okay? I'm not expecting you guys to only spend about 2 hours on your phone for the rest of your life. That wouldn't be realistic. Go ahead and push yourself for 7 days and try to keep your usage around 2 hours per day. Rule number 3 is going to be no caffeine for the first 90 minutes after you wake up. The whole goal of the 7-day detox period is to reset your brain's dopamine levels back to baseline levels. And having a cup of coffee be one of the first things you do after you wake up is a gratification that must be delayed. Now, you might be thinking that I'm really just trying to make your life miserable by taking away something that's so dear to you, but there's a reason for this, okay? I didn't just choose to take coffee out for the hell of it. Delaying your consumption of coffee can be extremely beneficial for your health, and here's how. After you wake up, as your body utilizes energy, adenosine is being released into your body. This adenosine then connects to adenosine receptors, which then cause you to feel tired. The structure of caffeine, it is very similar to the structure of adenosine. So when you drink caffeine, that caffeine goes into the receptors and binds with them. And that's what keeps you from feeling tired. So when you drink coffee, coffee's not giving you any extra energy. It's just keeping you from feeling tired. The problem with caffeine is the adenosine never stops being produced. In fact, when your receptors are busy with the caffeine, all this adenosine is still being released by your body, but it's just being built up. So once the caffeine wears off, you have this lump sum of adenosine that's just been waiting for the receptors to clear out. Once the receptors are available, you get this overload of adenosine, which then gives you the afternoon crash. By waiting just 90 to 120 minutes before consuming caffeine after you wake up, we allow the body enough time to slowly taper down these adenosines, avoiding that afternoon crash. All right, rule number 4, this is a really important one and nobody really talks about this, but this is gonna be cutting out your bad habit friends. Have you ever looked around the people that you hang out with and wonder why you're friends with them? If you do that, you will often realize that you have a lot of friends who are bad habit friends. Bad habit friends are those friends that you only bond with because you guys shared a common bad habit. Stoners have their stoner friends that they smoke with, but if we take weed out of the equation, they really have nothing else to bond over. And the only reason why they're friends is because they share this common habit. Gamers have their gamer friends, which they hop on the game and spend hours and hours talking about the game, but outside of this virtual world, they really don't know much about each other. So their entire relationship is dependent on this bad habit, which they must continue to partake if they want to keep their relationship alive. This one is mostly for the girls, but The same thing is true for your gossip friends. You know those friends that even when you guys are hanging out one-on-one, all you're really doing is talking about other people? That is also a bad habit. Take a look at your friendships and really think about, why are you friends with these people? What do you guys bond over the most? And if we remove that from the equation, can you guys still be friends? If the answer is anything but yes, you have to slowly cut them off. No need to get dramatic or confrontational or emotional. You don't need a big breakup or a final goodbye or a big text. All you really need to do is just slowly put yourself first and your goals first, and prioritize hanging out with people that are lifting you up. It's okay to have bad habits. We all have them, but you should be only indulging in them once in a while as a celebration, maybe on the weekends, or maybe just once in a while to take the edge off. But when you have friends where your entire relationship is dependent on this bad habit, not only is that gonna cause you to keep doing it more and more, but you're also not furthering your friendship with that person at all. If you actually want to retain them as a friend, you should go out and do things that are unrelated to that bad habit. For example, if you have your stoner friend and you actually really enjoy being with them, but you don't really want to partake in that habit anymore, you can invite them to just go out and do something and just not smoke and just hang out with them and get to know them and see if you actually really enjoy them as a sober friend. Rule number 5 is going to be making your bed every morning. No, I'm not going to lie to you. Just making your bed is not going to have some dramatic, life-changing effect on your life. In fact, I really doubt that most successful business people are worried about making their beds every day. Sure, there are definitely those out there that are notorious for making their beds every day, and those are probably the ones that your mom and your teachers talk about. But just making your bed in the morning is not going to make you a millionaire. These people are millionaires for numerous reasons, and making their beds is just one thing that they do. I promise you, if Jeff Bezos stopped making his bed in the morning, that wouldn't keep him from becoming one of the richest people in the world. So you might be wondering right now, why the hell would I tell you to make your bed when these successful people aren't really worried about making their beds? The reason why you should make your bed every morning, at least for the 7-day period, is because making your bed builds momentum and it's an easy win. When you wake up and the first thing you do is make your bed, not only are you building momentum because you just got something done first thing in the morning, but it's also an easy win for you to just kick off your day in the right way. Once you have already dialed in your routine and your habits, making your bed won't matter nearly as much as all these other things that you have learned throughout the years. But when you're starting out, you're learning how to become a more disciplined person. And by forcing yourself to tackle such a daunting task first thing in the morning, doing anything else thereafter is going to be a breeze. Wake up and eat the frog. Now, after you have completed your 7-day detox, you're gonna feel so much better. But it's very important for you to stick with your good habits. If you wanna learn more about the 7 things that broke people do and rich people don't, click over here to watch my latest video.